Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
The words struck me harder than any blow. Your Honor, my father's voice rang out, steady and deliberate. My daughter has always been unstable. She can barely hold a job, and frankly, I don't think she should have custody of my granddaughter at all. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. I sat frozen at the defendant's table, my hands clasped so tightly the knuckles whitened. This was no stranger attacking me. This was my father, the man who once told me bedtime stories, who proudly held Hannah in his arms the day she was born. And now he stood here, dismantling my life with carefully chosen words. Across the aisle, my husband Vincent leaned back in his chair, a smug smile curling at the edge of his lips. His lawyer, Mr. Fletcher, gave a subtle nod of approval, their ambush unfolding exactly as planned. She disappears for days at a time, my father continued, his voice stronger now, as though fueled by his own betrayal. She claims she's working, but I've never seen proof of stable employment. My granddaughter deserves a home with her father, a man with a career, with stability. Judge Ellis leaned forward, expression unreadable. Mr. Gibson, are you stating that your daughter is incapable of providing basic care for the child? Yes, Your Honor, my father said firmly, not glancing once at me. She's secretive. She hides things. For all I know, she could be involved in something dangerous. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Vincent's lawyer rose, adjusting his tie with a practiced air. Your Honor, this testimony demonstrates exactly why full custody belongs with my client. The mother's instability and secrecy pose a risk. I forced myself to look at Hannah. My sweet girl sat in the front row beside my sister, her dark eyes wide with confusion. Her gaze darted between her grandfather and me, silently asking questions her young mind couldn't yet form. My sister Karen kept her head low, avoiding my eyes, her silence as damning as his words. Inside, my heart was burning, but I made my face a mask of calm. Let them think they were winning. Let them underestimate me. They thought I was cornered. But the truth was about to rewrite everything. Ms. Gibson, Judge Ellis's voice cut through the murmurs, calm yet commanding. How do you respond to these allegations? I rose slowly, the scrape of my chair loud in the tense silence. My father's eyes bore into me, daring me to crumble. Vincent leaned forward, his smirk widening as though he could already taste victory. Your Honor, I said clearly, I intend to call a witness. At once, Mr. Fletcher, Vincent's lawyer, leaped to his feet. Objection. No witnesses were disclosed. This is irregular. I met his outrage with calm precision. The witness became available only this morning. I believe her testimony will resolve every concern regarding my stability and my ability to provide for Hannah. Judge Ellis considered this, her expression unreadable. Then, with a single nod, she said, "Proceed." The air shifted. The courtroom doors opened with a weighty creak, and a tall woman entered, her presence commanding immediate silence. Her dark suit was immaculate, her stride purposeful, her silver hair gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Gasps rippled through the gallery. My father stiffened in his seat, confusion flickering across his features. Vincent blinked rapidly, his smug grin slipping into unease. I turned toward the bench. Your Honor, I call Chief Justice Megan Knowles to the stand. The silence was absolute, save for the faint shuffle of papers as Fletcher fumbled, clearly blindsided. Chief Justice Knowles took her seat, her voice steady as she addressed the judge. I am here at the request of Justice Ophelia Gibson. Whispers erupted. My father's face drained of color. Justice, he mouthed as though the word itself were unthinkable. I straightened, letting the truth begin to crack the falsehoods around me. Chief Justice, for the record, could you please identify me? Her words rang out like a gavel strike. You are the Honorable Ophelia Gibson, Associate Justice of the State Supreme Court. The courtroom reeled. My father stared in disbelief. Vincent's lips parted in horror. The ambush had turned. Their carefully woven lies were beginning to unravel thread by thread. The air felt heavy as Chief Justice Knowles adjusted the microphone. Every eye in the courtroom remained fixed on her, the revelation of my true position hanging in the air like thunder waiting to break. Your Honor, she began, her voice crisp, I have known Justice Gibson for years. Her reputation is unimpeachable. The claim that she is incapable of holding a job is not only false, it is slander. Mr. Fletcher jumped to his feet, Objection. This is a relevant character testimony. We are here to determine custody, not her resume. Judge Ellis raised an eyebrow. Objection overruled. The mother's capacity is central to this case. Continue. I watched my father's composure unravel. His hand twitched on the table, his jaw working furiously as though chewing words he dared not release. Vincent leaned close to him, whispering rapidly, but panic had already replaced confidence in his eyes. Chief Justice Knowles went on. Justice Gibson has presided over some of the most difficult cases in this state. Her integrity and judgment have been proven time and again. Any suggestion that she lacks stability is a fabrication. I leaned forward. Chief Justice, are you aware of any record showing misconduct, financial instability, or incapacity on my part? None whatsoever, she answered firmly. A ripple of murmurs swept through the gallery. I let silence stretch, every second tightening the noose around my father's accusations. Finally, I turned to Vincent, my voice low but carrying. Tell me, Vincent, how could you not know your ex-wife is a sitting judge? His face blanched, words failing him. My father slammed his palm against the table. This changes nothing, he barked, though his voice cracked. She will never raise that child properly. But the room had already shifted. The truth was out, undeniable and irrefutable. Their ambush had collapsed into ashes, and for the first time, the fight was tilting in my favor. The courtroom settled into a tense silence as Judge Ellis folded his hands and looked between the parties. The weight of the last testimony still lingered, suffocating those who had built their case on lies. Ms. Gibson, she began, your professional record speaks for itself. The court cannot ignore the testimony of the Chief Justice. Vincent fumbled with his papers, his voice cracking as he attempted a final plea. Your Honor, surely reputation alone does not guarantee suitability. She may be a judge, yes, but what about the environment she offers? What about her capacity as a mother? I met his stare directly. My environment? My home is stable, my finances secure, and my record unblemished. What I cannot say the same for is the dishonesty that has filled this courtroom. My father leaned forward, his voice a growl. You think a title makes you a parent? You are cold, unfit. Enough, Judge Ellis cut him off, his gavel striking sharply. This case has been clouded with bitterness, but facts remain facts. The child's welfare is paramount and stability is key. She paused, letting the silence stretch, every heartbeat echoing in my ears. Then, with finality, custody is awarded to Justice Gibson. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Relief washed over me like a tide, though I kept my composure. Vincent slumped back in his chair, while my father's face turned crimson, his fury muted by the gavel's authority. I bent slightly toward him and whispered, You underestimated me. You always did. Judge Ellis closed his folder, his voice carrying the weight of conclusion. This court is adjourned. The echo of the gavel was more than closure. It was victory, carved in truth and law. Yet I knew this battle was not the end, only the beginning of a deeper reckoning. The victory in court did not silence the echoes of betrayal. At home, the silence was heavier than the gavel that had secured my custody. My daughter clung to me that evening, his small voice trembling. Mom, are they gone for good? I smoothed her hair, forcing steadiness into my tone. They can't hurt us anymore. The law is on our side now. But I knew the truth. Wounds inflicted by family cut deeper than any stranger's cruelty. Vincent's bitterness, my father's venom, they were scars etched into memory. Later, I stood by the window, the city lights blurring into a haze of reflection. My closest friend, Anna, called, her voice soft. You won, are you all right? I hesitated, then whispered, winning doesn't erase the betrayal. It only proves I was right to fight. The words tasted bittersweet, but they carried resolve. I turned from the window, holding my daughter tighter. We moved forward, I told her, though perhaps I said it more for myself. The past had wounded us, yes, but it would not define us. Our story was no longer theirs to write.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.